Alright, y'all, so let's check this nasty out real quick.
The Miss Universe organization from now on is going to be ran by women, owned by trans women, for all women.
Look at this nonsense. All these gullible females in the fucking crowd, not really understanding that it affects them in a negative way. That's how gullible females are. And people in general, not just females. I'm not just, talking about the woman. But we already know the nature of females. They're gullible, they easily, impressed, they feeble-minded. But it's so sad when you have a transgender, quote unquote transgender, like a person that was born a male, clearly a male, who's saying that this event that's composed and comprised of women is being ran by women, but you're not a woman. So who's it being ran by? Essentially, it's still being ran by a man, right? Like, so all it does is just speaks to the confusion of this fucking world, man. It's all confusion. And like, when I was young, I would always look at these fucking trannies, and to me, they just look like monsters. Like, they look like clowns or monsters. They have this monstrous vibe to them, where it's like you can tell that they're not pure people. They're not like, they look like constructs, like walking concepts. They don't look like a pure person. And it's just crazy because, it's like one of those things where you pity these people. Like, you're really someone who's convinced that this is what you are? I pity you. I feel sorry for you. For real. I don't give a fuck how much money you got. You don't got no soul, man. Rich transgender or whatever transgender, I feel sorry for you. You need help. But in this world, the people in power, they don't encourage y'all to get any help. They encourage y'all to pretty much choose that nasty ass life choice, thinking that this is something that's okay. It's all love. It's who you are. That's all bullshit, bro. It's not who you are. That's a total contradiction. It's the opposite of who you are. But in this case, man, you have this man infiltrating an event that's composed and comprised of women just to say that, he as a man, where he thinks that he's a woman, is pretty much governing the beauty pageant sect now. He's governing Miss Universe now. But his delusional ass is saying that it's gonna be ran by women. This is why we have to protect our spirits in these days, man. We have to protect our spirits, man. Protect your seed and protect your spirit. Very, very important, man. Very important.
For all women really around the world to celebrate the power of feminism.
The power of feminism. You a whole man, my guy. What are you talking about? Feminism is dangerous, man. Feminism is dangerous. It's all about trying to trump the man. And even in this case, it's like it's like a paradox, man. It's like a catch-22. It's just crazy, man, the world we live in. And it further confirms itself in regards to the legitimacy of the scriptures. When it comes to the credence of the scriptures, it confirms itself. It lets you know, okay. It just tells you all this in the Bible, man. That's all it does. But I just wanted to get in some tweets and whatnot. The West is completely detached from reality, one user wrote in response to Chong. In response to Chong, Chong is just a person that was on Twitter who was criticizing the woman, or the man actually, excuse me, that was governing the Miss Universe pageant by saying that everything is going to be taken over by women. Everything is going to be ran by women and feminism, all this dumb shit. Confused and delusional. That's all that is. It's confusion and delusion. That's all it is. New Culture Forum founder and journalist Peter Whittle said that it was hypocritical for an organization designed to champion women should be run by a woman. The new boss of the Miss Universe contest proclaims it will now be run by women and will celebrate feminism, inadvertently forgetting perhaps that he is in fact a man. Nah, not forgetting, just severely delusional to the point where they've been convinced That's all that is. They convince themselves that they are a gender that's outside of what they were born as. And all that is just delusion. That's all it is. It's just delusion. It's just delusion. Like, these people live in their own bubble. And it's so sad because it's one of those things where myself, like, I don't even want to exchange with those people. I don't even want to have a conversation with those type of people. You could call me whatever the fuck you want. I would never, ever, ever just out of the blue want to just talk to a transgender person. I just wouldn't. I can't exchange no type of energy with that person because that person has a severe, severe, severe spiritual problem. A severe spiritual problem. Just a construct, a walking construct. No disrespect to them. It's just one of those things where you understand the power of this world on the left-hand side. And these people, they just products of this world. They're products of the veneration system of this world. So when you see trans, it's just like one of those things where it's like, just go over there. Like, for me, I can't be around that. And also, like, when I was younger, I would always see them and be kind of like scared because they look scary. They just look strange. Like how you live in a real life and you really gotta like how can you really live a real life, man? Like, for lack of a better way to express it, like, I can't even express myself because like, even when I talk about these things, especially this topic, there's always this element of confusion because none of these things make sense. It doesn't even meet. It doesn't even meet in the middle. It's just all left and just like, what? You get what I'm saying? Like, it's just all like, what? Even when you saw the beginning of this video, it's just two things that just don't come together. You're a man talking about your everything is gonna be ran by women. Like, what are you talking about? And then the women clapping. It's just two things that don't go together. Like, it's confusion on top of confusion. The women ain't even like questioning it like, okay, this person is crazy. Because women, you know, the liberal women, the westernized women, that's what this person emphasized. You know, the West is completely detached from reality because that's what it is. They don't live in reality. And we know women by nature are delusional. Not all of them, but for the most part, the majority of women are delusional by nature. You know, they're delusional by nature. We already know that. Like, we already know that that's something that's a part of women. And it's not necessarily a wrong thing, a bad thing. That's just their nature. Just like it's their nature to, you know, be emotional and not necessarily see things beyond the surface. Not all of them, but that's just their nature. That's how the Most High created them. But when it comes to the transgender, that's delusion that's just severe because you actually believe that you're a gender that's opposite from what you were born as. At least women, they just delusional just to be delusional. Like, when it comes to like their place in society is what I'm saying. But the transgender is just like, bro, like, you gotta go over there. Now, I talk about not exchanging with trans, but you know, obviously I'll exchange with a woman because at least they're in their right mind to a degree in terms of, okay, I know who I am. I know that I'm a woman. I know that I have a vagina. You know, I know I was born with a vagina. But these people that's walking constructs and concepts, these people, they need to be on their own island somewhere, man. They really need to be on their own island somewhere. These scary, monstrous, clown-looking people, they need to be on their own island. They need to stop contaminating the world with their nonsensical utterances that come from the veneration of the Baphomet. Just reading on, it says, I see America is not the only one thing to have gone to shit since Donald Trump stopped running it. That's because Donald Trump representing that last bastion of manhood. He represented that last bastion of, you know, someone who didn't sugarcoat shit, someone who wasn't, you know, willing to kowtow or, you know, necessarily care about the opinions of others. He had his own mind, he stood his ground, and he was firm with his own thoughts. And that's someone I can respect. That's why I have respect for Trump, because he spoke his mind. He represented that last bastion of manhood when it comes to just being your own man and not necessarily having to say shit just to satiate someone else's insecurities. We live in a world where now you gotta, you know, tiptoe around what you say around certain people and all this, and you gotta worry about not offending people. All that shit is nonsense. When has the world ever been like that other than now? Just speaks to the fact that we're nearing the end. because everything is just based off of the vibration of the women, right? And there's no disrespect to the women. You know, you have a lot of great women out here, a lot of strong women out here, but I'm just talking about the majority of these liberal, westernized women. You know, these Eve-like women, proverbial Eve. That's what I'm talking about. But it's not even necessarily about the woman. It's more so about the people in power who pretty much encourage these women, encourage these people, because it's not just women, it's men who think that they're women, encourages these people to pretty much conform to these ideologies that's self-defeating. Like I said, and I'm gonna say it again, how can you live your life like that? How can you look in the mirror? How can you live with yourself? How? It's just sad, man, and it just speaks to the demonic element. It's a demon that's on these people. That's all it is. It's just a demon, and we're gonna go into that more. Not based off of any sort of like research. I mean, I've done it before when it comes to the research element. Just going into speaking on it some more in regards to the element of a demon being on someone to the point where, like, they don't even have their own soul. They borderline don't even have their own soul. But it's just crazy, man. Let's get more into this. It's not female empowerment when the first quote-unquote woman to own the Miss Universe pageant organization was born a man. Well, you know, when you have a thought process like this, you're considered persona non grata. And in a world where it's based in heavy confusion and heavy iniquity and irrational and illogical elements, people like you or people who have this thought, they're gonna be shunned. Like, we live in a world where it's heavy promotion of transgenderism and all these different progressive agendas. Why is that? Because we live in a world that's based in confusion. We live in Babylon. And more so, it's based in their veneration going back to Hermes or Aphrodite when it comes to the, you know, ancient Kemet understanding of alchemy, you know, the bringing together of opposites, the woman coming together with the man, creating a perfect entity. When it comes to those concepts going back to ancient Babylon, ancient Sumer, ancient Kemet, alchemy. That's really why they push transgenderism so hard. But, you know, on the surface, they gotta make you think that, you know, it's all about what this person wants to do and them being themselves. How is that you being yourself when you want to be somebody else? So it just speaks to the confusion. Like, you know how they say, well, you know, they're just being themselves. They're not being themselves. They want to be something else. Like, they were born a male. So if they being themselves, they would be a male. They would uphold to what it means to be a male. That's how crazy this world is. Where people, they say shit like that. They say, oh, well, this person, they just trying to be themselves. How are they being themselves? They literally doing the opposite of that. Like, what are you talking about? But that's the world we live in. That's why I say we live in Babylon. It's confusion, where things on top of other things that just don't meet sometimes. You know, like just like with what I just laid out, where people say, well, they're just being themselves. Well, how are they being themselves if they think that they're something else? Like, that's not you being yourself. Like, what are you talking about? So it's just one of those things where you understand the vibration of this world. It has to play out this way. It has to play out this way. Define logic, define rationale. That's what this is about. And they use the woman because the woman is the main creature that encapsulate that. And it's crazy because this is more so about the transgender element, but they all in-grouped. The women, transgenders, homosexuals, people with bugged out minds. And women, I'm not saying all women have bugged out minds, just the Western women, the westernized, modern day liberal woman, bugged the fuck out. Because you have a lot of beautiful, great minds out here, great women out here. And even the Western women, they're beautiful, but their minds fucked up. And that just makes them ugly. You get what I'm saying? But this video is more so about the transgender element and the confusion behind that. It's like, how can you really live with yourself? Like, really? How could you live with yourself? How can you look in the mirror every day and say, I'm pure, I'm a human being? You a concept. You literally a concept. You're a construct. Even on the song with Kendrick Lamar, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, a song called Auntie Diaries. In the beginning of the song, it says, this is how we turn humans into a concept. This is how we conceptualize human beings. You know what a concept is? It's something that's just made up. It's like a concoction. Whether it be positive or negative, a concept is pretty much a concoction. Like this is what I'm putting together. You get what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna put this together. This is what I came up with. Whether it's based in music or based in some sort of plan that you mapped out, that's what a concept is. So when it comes to human beings, you conceptualize them by making them think that they can be another gender. Why is that? Because they venerate the Baphomet, they venerate the Hermetic principles. So on that level, that's what it's based in. But on the surface level, the people that's in power, they want those people to believe that, you know, it's just you being yourself, even though that doesn't make any sense. So it's just like, this is the world we live in, man. This is the world we live in. More confusion on top of confusion, where you have a transgender person. I don't even like to say that word because you cannot necessarily be a transgender. You're still a man. Like, the transition has to be effective in regards to the natural element. There's nothing natural in that. You know what I mean? Like you can have a procedure done, you can take your hormone pills and all this bullshit, but that doesn't necessarily make you 100% a woman, because it's not 100% transition. It can't be. You can't scientifically go from a man to a woman. You can't scientifically change a dog into a cat. And the reason why I'm saying that is because it's the same concept. It's the same, you know, it's the same equivalency. That's how you know that these people, they're bugged out. They have a demon on them. I did a video on this. Demonies are mine, meaning insane thoughts. Sick. That's what these people are. They have an insane, like, delusional mind, to the point where it's like it's nasty. Like, you really believe this shit. Like, you need to go be on an island somewhere with your mind. Like, people like that back in like the 70s, they were known to have a mental illness. Now it's just like whatever. That's how you know that practice is wrong. It's wrong. If you believe that you're a gender that's outside of what you were born as, you need to go see someone. You need help. You don't need to be encouraged to change into that. All you're doing is aiding in your destruction. And part of that, you know, I could agree with the aspect where they may say, well, it's not their fault. They, you know, probably got a demon. It's a demon. But that doesn't mean that they can't be helped. That doesn't mean that they can't be helped. That's the problem. No one's helping these people. They're encouraging them to do this shit. I'm sure the majority of the people who had this quote unquote transition, they done got some sort of, you know, molestation on them. They done got molested at some point in their life, man. It's no way. And I know people like this. I know people who done, well, I don't know trans, but I know a person who got molested and they decided to change from, you know, heterosexual to homosexual. Well, really, heterosexual to a lesbian, because it's a girl. You know, so it's one of those things where I can identify with it on that front, but at the same time, it's not like I'm encouraging it. I just understand the science behind it. But the problem is they're not encouraged to get help. That's the problem. Why is that? Because they rather these people live out this demonic vibration, because we live in a demonic world. We don't live in a world that's based in any sort of righteousness for the most part. We live in a world that's based in, you know, the governance of Lucifer, Babylon. This is what this is. Who were the original enlighteners? The people that rebelled against the Most High, in which the Most High deemed it Babylon. Those are the original Luciferians, Cush and Nimrod. We living under the same vibration, And all it's doing in these last days is getting to a point where it's more and more at its heights. You know, it's more and more revelatory. We're seeing it more, because it just confirms that, you know, it's like things are gonna happen according to the spirit, according to the Bible, man. The Bible is true. We should be joyful because all this does is lend credence to the Bible. The Bible tells you about all this stuff that's going on right now. The Bible tells you about all this iniquity, all this confusion. Babylon, the land of confusion. For the Most High shall send them a strong delusion, the mystery of iniquity. That's this world right now. So we should not be enamored by all this crazy stuff. All it should do is confirm to us that yes, we are living in these last days. Yes, the Most High is real. Yes, the Bible is real. This is why I hate when people come on and they say, "Oh, you into the New Testament." Well, in the New Testament, there's prophecies. When you read certain scriptures in the book of Matthew, in the book of Revelation, and Luke, so on and so forth, you have prophecies. So all that does is let me know that the New Testament is legit. And it's just a continuation of the Old Testament. It's the new covenant. I remember when the brother Chronicles of Judah, he laid this out. He said, wouldn't you want to watch the full 2-hour movie as opposed to just 1 hour? It's the same thing with people who say, oh, I just adhere to the Old Testament. I don't care about the New Testament. Then you don't get the full understanding. Simple. Like, because, one of these idiots come on my page talking about, prove to me that the New Testament is real. And it's like, I'm not proving nothing to your dumb ass. I'm not doing none of that. Because at the end of the day, bro, it's common sense, bro. So this right here is Psalms chapter 40. Just wanted to start at verse 1, coming from David. To the chief musician, a psalm of David, I waited patiently for the Lord, and he inclined unto me and heard my cry. He brought me up also out of an horrible pit, out of the miry clay, and set my feet upon a rock and established my goings. If you guys heard of a rapper, Earl Sweatshirt, he has an album called Feet of Clay, and this is what references that title when it comes to this scripture in Psalms 40 and 2. And he hath put a new song in my mouth, even praise unto our power. Many shall see it and fear, and shall trust in the Lord. Blessed is that man that maketh the Lord his trust, and respecteth not the proud, nor such as turn aside to lies. Many, O Lord, my power, are the wonderful works which thou hast done, and thy thoughts which are to us word, they cannot be reckoned up in order unto thee. If I would declare and speak of them, they are more than can be numbered. Sacrifice and offering thou didst not desire, mine ears hast thou opened, burnt offering and sin offering hast thou not required. Then said I, lo, I come. In the volume of the book it is written of me. What does this mean? In the volume of the book it is written of me. We must take heed to the whole book, not just one half of the book. People think that there's this partition between the New Testament and the Old Testament when it's not. It's just a continuation because of the scattered. And like I said, the prophetic element, man, once you read certain scriptures in the New Testament and it gives you prophecy, and the prophecy you identify with, then you shouldn't have the thought that the New Testament is illegitimate. Like, you should already know that this confirms that this is real, this is legit, because prophecies came to pass. Duh. Come on, man. Let's get Hebrews. That's 10 and 7, I believe. Or is it 7 and 10? I think it's 7 and 10. Oh, I was wrong. Hebrews 10 and 7. Then said I, lo, I come. In the volume of the book it is written of me, to do thy will, O Lord, O Heavenly Father. So it's very important for us to understand, even in regards to this precept here, that the New Testament and the Old Testament, we must take heed to. We must conform to. We must understand that it's the volume of the book. It's 100% all legitimate. There's no partition. Stop that nonsense. Like, if you believe Christ is real, how could you deny the New Testament? Like, like the New Testament gives you a further understanding of why we're in this captivity right here. I know Deuteronomy lays it out. I'm just talking about like certain aspects of the prophecy going into 70 AD and whatnot. That's all in the New Testament when it talks about, the desolation of us when we was in Jerusalem. And I'm sure, you know, you read certain scriptures in the Old Testament, it gives you prophecy of certain aspects of what took place around the New Testament, because the Bible is a history book. And for the most part, it's chronological. So it's like, how can you deny the New Testament? It's just nonsense. Peace. God bless you all, though. Shalom.